Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts, and welcome to Fun Fold Friday episode number 1. And today we're going to be creating a pop-up stepper card, and I'm also going to show you how I decorate it using some of the new items from the new Crafty Crew kit from Crafty Stamp Co. And this kit will be available in the Crafty Stamp Co shop through December 15th for pre-order, so check out the link below. So let's get started on our card. You want to start out with a piece of paper that measures 8 1/4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to take that piece of paper and we're going to take the 5 1/4 inch end and we're going to line it up in our paper trimmer at 1 5/8. So the left hand side should be lined up to 1 5/8 of an inch. And then we're going to do a cut, but we're not going to cut from top to bottom. So we're going to line up our trimmer to 3 3/8 of an inch, and that clear ruler on the side there is what I'm using to do the measurements. Most paper trimmers, the ruler comes with measurements on that little clear piece that holds it down. So we're going to cut from 3 3/8 of an inch to 6 5/8 of an inch, and then we're going to pull our paper trimmer back up out of the paper so that we don't make any larger cuts. And then we're going to slide our paper over to 3 3/8 of an inch. So the left hand side should be at 3 3/8 of an inch. And we're going to cut from 1 5/8 of an inch to 5 inches. So hold your cutter up, your blade up, until you get it lined up to 1 5/8 of an inch. Then just press it down into your paper and cut all the way down to 5 inches. And once again, I'm using the measurements on the clear ruler to do this. So I'm thinking that my paper trimmer came with a scoring tool as well, but I cannot find it. So I'm just going to bring up my scoreboard and I'm going to do some scoring. So we're going to put the 8 1/4 inch side to the top of our paper trimmer. And we want to score at 1 5/8 of an inch. Now we're only going to score from the top of our paper down to the first cut line. Then we're going to score at 3 3/8. We're going to start at the top of our paper and we're going to score all the way down to the second cut line. Then we're going to score at 5 inches, but this time we're going to start at the end of one cut line, go through the other cut line, and all the way to the bottom of our paper. And then we're going to come back at 6 5/8 of an inch. Now you'll see here, I'm not scoring there. I'm just lightly rubbing my scoring tool so I can see where to score, and we're just going to score from the end of the last cut down to the bottom of our paper. So keep that in mind when we're scoring. We're not scoring all the way down our paper. We're just, so here, like I'm showing you, I'm just lightly lining it up. And then when I get down to the mark where I need to, I press down and score. That way I can kind of line my eyes up and make sure I've got my scoring tool in the right spot. So once I have everything scored, then I'm just going to start folding my steps out. So each one of those score lines that we did, not the first one, but the second one, the second score line, and then the fourth score line. So at the 3 3/8 and at the 6 5/8, excuse me, the 3 3/8 and then the 5 inches, we want to we're making our steps. So you can see here, don't worry about the measurements there. I probably shouldn't even add those in. You'll see as I fold it up where you need to make your steps. That'll make more sense just to watch the video. So when I cut and when I score, it's not always perfect, and we can't always get it perfect. We're not precision. This is a craft. We're having fun. So what you want to do is you want to line up your edges of your paper when we fold it up. You're going to see in a second, I'm going to fold my card together. So I want to make sure that all my edges line up. So I'm going to work with my card and get my edges lined up here. So I'm going to take this first edge and make sure it lines up. And once I get it lined up, then I'm going to use my scoring tool just to press down on that score line. And sometimes you may have to fudge it just a little, but most of the time, if you did the measurements I gave you, it should line up. And you're just going to slowly work your way. So I start on the left-hand edge of the card, and I just work my way across the card, getting it all lined up. And I am just holding those edges together as I do it to make sure I don't get anything really wonky or crooked for my card. You can see here, I really do pay attention to that. And then I'm just going to work myself down to each step, scoring it with my score tool. And then the last one, you can see here's a little bubble in it, and it may have not lined up perfect, so I'm just, my score mark didn't, so I just fold it over and score. Okay, so everything is pressed down, and once we have everything pressed down, we have our stepper card completed. So now I'm going to show you how to decorate it, and I'm going to give you measurements for the papers that you're going to use to decorate it, because each paper measures just a little different in order to fit on the steps. So we're going to start out by decorating the front, and I have gone ahead and cut out all my pieces. So what I'm going to do is give you the measurements for each piece as we add them to the card, so you'll know where they go and what they measure. So the first piece I'm going to put on the left-hand corner. It measures 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So it's a square, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I think decorating the cards, the decorating part is the most fun part for me. So I enjoy really just decorating and adding all the different things to a card. Okay, so the top piece on the top left-hand corner measures 1 1/2 by 1 3/4. And you will see I'm just mixing my papers up here. You can do your papers however you want. I'm using 2 different prints, but you could use more prints than that if you wanted to. So this bottom right-hand corner measures 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And this other bottom left-hand corner, when we open our card, measures 1 1/2 by 1 1/2. And then this next piece measures 1 1/2 by 1 3/4. So I go ahead and add it, but then I realize maybe I shouldn't have added it, because it would be easier to add the larger piece first to make sure it fits good, and then we can fudge this little piece if we need to. So I do take it off before I add this larger piece. And so this larger piece measures 3 by 3 1/2. And so I'm just going to add it to my card, and then I'll come back and add that small piece back in once I get everything lined up. Now today I'm using a dark red cardstock base for this, but typically I use white bases for my cards. So you could use white, you could use any color. I just thought this color looked really good with these papers. And I thought this card would be great for Valentine's, or for a get well card, or just to send somebody a card to let them know you're thinking of them and that you love them. Okay, so now let's go ahead and add the decorations. So I've gone ahead and colored in the images using my Ohuhu alcohol markers, and all of these images are stamps that come in the Crafty Crew kit. And there's 2 different stamp sets that come in the kit. So I will, like I said, link below so you can check out the kit and see what all comes in it. There's quite a few things that come in it. So I'm just popping up the love and the birdhouse onto my card. I'm just using foam dots to pop those up. And then onto the birdhouse, I'm going to glue a little bluebird. And so this is, like I said, this is another stamped image. For the bluebird, I'm not going to pop him up. I'm just going to add him flat to the birdhouse. And then I'm going to come back in and add a few hearts to the front of the card. For those as well, I'm just going to glue those flat. I'm not going to pop those up, but you could pop them up, whatever you want to do. For me, I felt like they were small and they might get snagged and pulled off. So I thought it'd be best just to lay those flat, but it's really up to you and how you want to decorate your card. I just want to give you a few ideas. So the love fills up that top corner, but I felt like it needed something else. So I'm coming back with this little heart locket, and I'm going to add it, and then I'm adding a little rose here once you open the card in the bottom left-hand corner, or my right-hand corner. I think I've been calling it the left-hand corner. I don't know my left from my right some days. But I'm going to add a little rose there. So just overlook me. Just pay attention to the video when I'm giving my descriptions. Sometimes I get my right and left mixed up when I'm talking. Okay, so now for the back, I'm going to decorate the back. But when I flipped it over, I realized that I must have had glue on my mat. As there is glue on the back of my card, and it's already dried. And so it's just, I figure I'll just cover it up, because this is paper. We're not going to stress it. It's paper. You can cover it up. You can add glue and add something else. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm cutting another strip from the same paper I used on the front. And I'm just going to add a little strip to cover up that little boo-boo, because it wasn't just glue. It had tore my paper a little bit. So we're just going to cover that up. And then it actually adds more decoration, I thought, to the back. So it looks intentional. So now I'm just going to add a little piece of white cardstock. Now I just measured to see what was left, and then made it like 1/8 of an inch smaller. And so that's what you'll need to do, because since I added the strip there, but I'm just putting that white cardstock so I can write a little note to whoever I'm going to send this to. And then I'm taking another one of the images from the stamp set, and this one's two little bluebirds with the word love on the banner. And I'm just going to glue that to the top. You could just stamp it if you wanted to, but I'm just going to glue that to the top. And then I'm going to come in with a little rose from the stamp set and add to the bottom corner. And so then I can come back later and I can stamp a sentiment, or I can write a little note there. So I think this card looks really cute, and it came together really quickly. I think this would be a fun one to create Christmas cards as well. But I have been doing a lot of Christmas projects this week on my channel, so I thought it would be fun to do a fun fold card that you could create in the new year, a project for the new year. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video has inspired you to get out your paper and glue and get to crafting today. And let me know if you like this video by hitting the like button and commenting below. And don't forget to subscribe so you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.